that process of management of the golden apple snails.
All right, now with that, let's get to our conversation of the day. We were talking about digital data storage and also record keeping. And joining us is Collins Mutimba, who is the Secretary General of Kenya Association of Record Managers and Archivists. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Nyakundi, for having me.
All right, so every industry is moving to the digital side. Everyone wants to now get into technology and make sure that they do things easily. So when you look at in today's world of digitization, what is the role of record keeping and how is it evolving with this digital transformation that is taking place?
Yeah, thank you once again, Mr. Nyakundi. The role of records management in this digital transformation is that it plays a significant role, one, in terms on compliance to regulatory authorities, enhancing business continuity planning, and this comes at a point where records managers have to identify vital records that are significant to the organization that is able to help an organization have that bit of business continuity planning. Another aspect is in terms of disaster management issues, improving compliance, improving improving aspects like efficiency in how records managers do their things. And majorly, records managers are key players in enhancing this, in that by organizing records with classification principles, organizations are able at least to get information within the shortest time possible. In terms of accessing information, it becomes very easy. And also, having actionable information that can be relied on when it comes to making key organization strategic decisions.
Okay.
So records managers play a fundamental role in ensuring that the right information is captured in the systems so that that information can be used when it comes to making informed decisions in organizations.
All right. Even as you mentioned, the importance of this. Now, let's look at also embracing it, because there are a couple of organizations which are still transforming, and you would find people who keep records still physically. They don't have the digital system. So what is the challenge? What is the main challenge when you look at organizations that are still not, they've not even started this?
Yeah, the challenge there is the transition. Several organizations are actually at different stages when it comes to transiting this digital transformation. So the major challenge would come in on capacity building for key people who should be able to be interacting with the system. Then the other challenge is the aspect of technology, the uptake of technology. You know, we have new technologies which need the records managers to be acquainted with the right information, with the right knowledge and skills for them to be able to undertake and utilize the technology effectively. Of course, there is also lack of sufficient information hubs. And today, I'm so happy because there is this ICT hubs that are across the country of around 1,450 ICT hubs, which would be able at least to promote this initiative by ensuring that there is people who have digital literacy on this digitization and on the systems. So that would really help in ensuring that that challenge of uptake is curbed. Secondly, there are also aspects with policy, and this, I'll say that different organizations have policies at different stages. There are those ones that already have policies that are existing, and that will make those organizations be able to have the uptake on digitization and digital transformation very, very easily. Whereas there are organizations that still are in that policy development stage. Remember, we don't just digitize for the sake of digitizing. We have to ensure that the infrastructure is right. We have to ensure that key policies are in place to safeguard records and documents that are digitized. And above all, training is also key to key players who will be undertaking records digitization assignments in institutions.
Right. Even as you mentioned training, how easy is it? Because, you know, training, let's say someone has been in record keeping for the longest time. They've been working in records for like 10 years. They've been used to the physical, the papers, the files, and that is what they usually handle. So when it comes to training, do we bring in new people into this, or the people who've been there are taken through a process? What usually happens?
Not necessarily bringing in new people. What needs to happen is, it's just ensuring that the people who are managing their records in the manual environments are well taken through trainings, for example, on digitization, trainings on standards, so that at least they are able to be at par with what is happening. Because today, you know, those people have the experience working with information in the industry. So in that case, trying to replace them or having new players who are tech savvy to manage this information would actually won't be so right. But instead, the people, the players in the industry needs to be equipped with necessary training and skills. And today, we have several organizations that do conduct those trainings and capacity building, one of them being the Kenya Association of Records Managers and Archivists, KARMA. Because those are things that industry needs. Because we have trainings or specific issues like policy issues. We have the legislations, the standards, which every other player needs to be acquainted and trained on. We have aspects like Data Protection Act of 2019. People need at least to be trained on that, because they are handlers of information, Access to Information Act, and the General Public Archives and Documentation Act, Chapter 19 of the Laws of Kenya. So this is very key when it comes to key players who are handling information. They need to be trained, and we say this training, it has to be a continuous thing. Today you can have a pure training on digitization, but also they also have to be trained on aspects on policy development, because there has to be a policy framework that should be embedded to ensure that even this digital transformation works.
Okay. And now you've mentioned about data storage, and of course we are going to go to that. When it comes to data is very critical, and it's not something that you just play with just like that. So when it comes to data storage and data handling, and now that we're talking about the digitization of this data, because record keeping, I mean, the records is data. So when it comes to this, what is really followed in terms of what should be done and what shouldn't be done? Because as you've mentioned about the trainings as well, people need to know exactly what is supposed to be done. So what happens when it comes to data storage and the training?
Yeah, correct. Again, we have, for example, in the association, let me just pick that. We have developed professional codes of conduct and practice. You know, being a professional, records managers needs to be acquainted, first of all, with what they need to do. And that should be able to cut across ethics. For example, now in the digital environment, you're not supposed to share your password. Even though you could be working as colleagues here. There are also issues where you have to ensure that you acquaint yourself with internal policies that talks about data privacy. This will be fundamental when it comes to ensuring that these digital records are well safeguarded. Today, we have solutions. We have solutions that are used for managing digital records. So in line on that, we have inbuilt security provisions that will have to ensure that each and every user within, let's say, an information management system has specific access rights on digital data. So through that, that will be actually another way of ensuring that we have security of data, and also enhancing proper information governance when it comes to the usage of this digital information.
Right. And now let's also move and look at another thing. So with the shift in digital transformation, what opportunities are presenting themselves or are emerging for archiving as a business? Let's look at it as a business now. What are some of the opportunities that are, and what challenges does it face? Now let's also look at the opportunities and now look at the challenges as well.
Yeah, thank you. So in terms of opportunities, I'll start by looking at, we had the traditional way of archiving documents where you could have records being archived in go-downs. So with the digital transformation and with digitization, things are shifting, the models are shifting. Because today you will have aspects of cloud computing, cloud storage taking shape. So in terms of opportunities, there are opportunities in which people are able to shift their way of doing things and take advantage of the cloud storage. That is number one. Number two, on other opportunities that are around there, remember there are digital systems that manage these digital records. So there is an opportunity for drivers who are managing the records. I'm looking at the people. And also we have opportunities for the key players who are the system solution vendors. So there's an opportunity to develop systems, to come up with systems which are able to bring on board digital records.
All right.
Of course, there are also challenges that comes in, as you had mentioned. One of the challenges mostly is on cybersecurity. And this is a fact, and it's something that is really happening today. There is also a challenge of technology. You have these advancements in technology. Technology keeping on changing. And that brings in lots of issues, especially when it comes to when you migrate information from one medium to the other. So it becomes a problem, and there could be data loss in that particular issue. Something else about the threats, is we have aspects of accessibility. You could have digital information today, but then for how long are you going to access those information? So those are the problems, challenges that comes in. And lastly is about funding and also inadequate training and capacity building for people who are managing these digital records. And that can be enhanced properly by ensuring that at least organizations get proper funding that they can utilize in empowering the staff who are managing with digital records, and also who are helping them in ensuring that information is safeguarded well in their organizations.
All right, Collins, thank you so much for elaborating that. And we've come to the end of this particular conversation and are going to continue from there. All right, so that is it. That is Collins Mutimba, who is the Secretary General for Kenya Association of Record Managers and Archivists, and explaining to us about record keeping and how the digital platform is really important and what is going to do in this particular sector. All right, we've come to the end of this particular edition of Business Today. My name is Kelvin Yakundi. Stick around. BOKTN is coming up next.